Away from 9, good to have you with us here on the South African Morning. Just before we start saying goodbye, it's good news where data prices have come down. They have a little bit, but is it still affordable? Our answer for you, probably not. Many people using their phones to access news, information and of course entertainment. What does a world look like with zero-rated mobile content? Well, one person who seems to have an answer for that, Gregory Sheppard from Viewforall.tv joins us. Hello to you, Greg. So how did you get this right when it seems that the big corporates are still taking all our money just for us to get access to information? Good morning. Greg, I suspect your audio might be on mute. I'm going to give you a second maybe just to double check your mute settings. I can see you speaking on that one because while you check your mute settings, we know that the results of the various court cases to bring down data costs has brought it down a little bit, but not as cheap as we'd like. Greg, I think I can hear you now. Sorry about that. Let's start again. So how are you able to do what the big telecommunication networks can't?
So, Gareth, essentially what we do is we have a hybrid digital solution for the mass market of South Africa and Africa as a whole by offering Wi-Fi hotspots with a difference. It's not free internet access, but free entertainment and educational access to content. And that's essentially how we do it, and that's how we get around the high data costs or poor infrastructure in a lot of the areas where people reside.
So we're looking at visuals of shebeens, it looks like taxi ranks, bus stations as well. So where can someone find this as well? I don't imagine it's all around the country, but you've got to start somewhere.
That's absolutely right, Gareth. So essentially any high dwell area would be perfect. So think of a clinic or Department of Home Affairs, a school would be ideal, public transport areas, hubs like that. So wherever there's a high dwell area with a high concentration of people, we would then deploy our devices and our network, and people can then access the content absolutely free by getting onto the Viewforall signal.
Okay, we're going to talk about that Viewforall signal in a moment because I want people to understand how they can find this when they get to one of your hotspot areas. But content is king. Anyone who works in the industry knows that, of course. So what kind of content are you offering? And perhaps more importantly, Greg, I'm sure you're looking for more content from people. What can people offer you that you're willing to use?
Absolutely, Gareth. You know, content is king, and local content is always high on the list of priorities for us. We believe it's a great space for local content to be displayed and to be viewed and consumed. So it could be anything from educational content, you know, from the basics all the way up to life skills, music videos, sport, local news. So anything that really is relevant for the market and can be consumed on a daily basis.
And I imagine you're looking for creators as well to perhaps make content with you or make contact with you about their content. While you answer that question, last question as well is where can I find Viewforall? I've got my phone in my hand. How do I know where I can find Viewforall.tv?
So, Gareth, essentially, you know, we want to work with local producers and local content creatives. We believe we can empower them and obviously create jobs through this whole process, as well as create a big viewership base, not just relying on the traditional platforms like YouTube, because like we know, data is too expensive to access that for most people. Wherever you are in a high dwell area and you see a branded poster, you can then connect to the Viewforall Wi-Fi signal, and it's a very simple three-step process. You can use any web browser, any smart device can access our service, and you can enjoy hours upon hours of content without using a cent of data.
Greg, let me leave this perhaps as my last question to you. What's the plan going forward for the year ahead? So you're in some areas now. What's the expected growth? Because zero data, I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to jump on board of this. We're on board with this. We're looking at the Viewforall.tv graphics at the moment. What's the plan for the year? What's your expected growth?
So what we're looking is to roll out into public areas like transport, bus services, schools. We're looking very closely at clinics and Department of Home Affairs. And the idea is we're in Gauteng at the moment, but we are moving into the rest of South Africa over the next 12 months. And that's we're looking at rollouts. So we're looking at the right location partners, the right content providers, and obviously advertisers. And this is how we then generate revenue, is by getting brands involved that want to speak to this market, and they can put their advertising in between the content for very, very precise and specific communication.
Well, I appreciate your time. All the best to you and Viewforall.tv. So if you're a creator, you're a brand, you're a venue that thinks you would like some zero-rated mobile content, just go look for Greg Sheppard, also at Viewforall.tv.